Alright guys, TacticalRab back again today. I hope you're all doing well and enjoying your day so far. And I thought things were crazy this morning when we talked about Crimsix and Vivid getting dropped from the Dallas Empire. Now things have been launched truly into the stratosphere. OpTic Chicago have made a change. Envoy is an unrestricted free agent for their team. What is even going on? What's going to happen with OpTic? Who's going to replace him? Where's Envoy going to go? What does this mean for the rest of Rostermania? Very much intrigued to your thoughts in the comment section below. Like if you guys enjoy the video, subscribe if you are new as always. I would greatly appreciate it. Really upset the channel. Thank you very much indeed for doing that big red button. All that good stuff. You guys know the drill. Just a few days ago, we talked about this, that OpTic Chicago did the post-event champs press conference. We weren't really sure how long ago this had been recorded, so the question was there, like, seemed like the vibes were good at the time between the team, but, it could have been several days ago. Of course, you can see Scump and Envoy right here. At the end of the day, Scump basically makes the calls you would imagine when it comes down to this team. He's the one who, he's obviously going to keep on playing. If he thinks that the squad needs to change, I guess, well, he imagined the squad needed a change. This is the change that is being made. It seems as of right now, we only have one change at least confirmed, and, well, that's going to be Envoy moving to an unrestricted free agent position, and well, Formal and Dashy staying as the main ARs, and Scump of course being the primary SMG. That means they're going to need another SMG on the team, you'd imagine, an aggressive SMG role. We talked about it a few days ago when the discussion was coming into play, could they possibly make a move? People were talking about, maybe an upgrade in the AR position, maybe they need more discipline, but maybe they think, they actually need an aggro SMG role, that maybe Scump and Envoy weren't perfectly well coordinated compared to the likes of Simp and aBeZy. We'll talk about that more here in a couple of minutes. Wanted to mention this as well, so Slacked officially a free agent for next season, just thought I'd mention this as we saw it, and also this yesterday between the Mutineers and Cloud9, definitely a fair bit of spice maybe to talk about right here. Talk about, could Cloud9 actually make their return to Call of Duty in the CDL? That is still a question up in the air, but the topic of the day is this: unrestricted free agent for the 2022 CDL season. OpTic have decided to make a move. This is honestly comes as somewhat of a surprise, at least after the last couple of days. I thought after champs they would certainly make a move, but then the last couple of days we've seen things that maybe pointed in a different direction. But yes, Envoy out of the team. Now, as I say, I imagine this comes from Scump's direction. He's thinking, maybe I need a better SMG partner, because to be fair, the majority of Scump's career, he's never really had an SMG duo. He's kind of done it himself, and whoever has been his SMG duo who happened not to be on the team, right? But, of course, Scump was so good, he can make it work. Nowadays, the likes of Simp and aBeZy, the likes of CleanX and Bance, the likes of, Shotzzy and Vivid, and Standy and Attach, for example, so many great SMG duos in the league that have, an aggressive SMG duo, an aggressive SMG player, and then, a slower pace guy who's going to pick up all the kills, like the slaying SMG. The Scump plays very well. Now, Envoy's playstyle may work really well in 5v5, as we saw, but in 4v4, it may not be quite where it needs to be, right, in terms of having that aggro guy in first SMG role, and if anything, this year's title Black Ops Cold War was probably slower than previous titles, and may well play slower than, next year's title will in Vanguard, right, and you could well argue that you're going to need an even more aggressive SMG player, or that role on your team is even more important, so maybe they decided that's what we've got to do here, and we're going to keep the AR, so Envoy seemingly, clearly, unrestricted free agent. This is not a drill, this is not a joke, and this of course does come, to be honest, as a pretty big surprise, because King and Prince, as OpTic Chicago say not long ago, only a couple of weeks ago now, Envoy was billed as the next Scump, right, pretty much, he was that next guy up, people called him the Prince, and it seemed like he was going to be the guy to kind of take over Scump's legacy in that SMG role. Clearly that's not been the case. He's going to move elsewhere. He's obviously an incredibly talented player that will get a spot on another team, no problem at all. Therefore that, that's going to mean that his legacy in OpTic is over, and he's going to move somewhere else. So I guess Dashy seem to be saying at the present time, and I don't know what this means. Of course, so many implications. What team does he go to? What do OpTic decide to do here? Does it actually improve them, right? Because a lot of people would say Envoy was one of their best players. I think a lot of people would argue that. Now, whether the team feels like he wasn't perfectly positioned, at least the role that he played, and maybe obviously by his own standards, he underperformed at the World Championship, so maybe there are some considerations there. Not sure exactly what explanation we will get, if we get any at all, over these coming days and weeks. We'll certainly be talking about it here on the channel, but this was during the whole pre-champ stuff, when we didn't know if Scump and Envoy were even going to make it to the World Championship. There was this is a duo, seems to be pretty good, and people were talking not that long ago that at the start of Stage 5, they looked like one of the scariest SMG duos in the entire game. At times it felt like they looked at what Simp and aBeZy were doing and were playing more together as a unit, and it kind of didn't really happen towards the end of the year. So very interesting stuff, and of course we see this from Dashy a few days ago, definitely seemed like, at least we talked about a few days ago, the tweets, right, the Formal and Dashy and Scump were doing to each other, and Envoy wasn't really there to be seen. But as soon as we saw the press conference, I kind of thought, maybe that's an outlier or something, but this of course Formal a few days ago, streaming, grinding Valorant with TJHaLy. Who knows who comes in to replace Envoy on this team, because clearly it's going to be some sort of aggressive SMG player. There's a lot of options on the table right now, and I don't know what route they're going to go down. As of course, we don't get to really know what happens until around about September the 5th, so of course unrestricted free agent announcements are coming out. I'm sure discussions already ongoing for the last several days behind the scenes. We won't get any official confirmations, I'm pretty sure, until the 5th of September, but certainly probably pretty mind-blowing blue in the sky says right here. And, you know, as Frank says, Envoy really said, smoking that OpTic pack. I guess he's out of there right now. And of course, well, who could potentially come in? That is the next discussion. Is Doug Martin the man for the job? Bring him into the squad? Maybe not. There are some other options on the market, though. We just saw Vivid earlier today get a free agent from the Dallas Empire, restricted free agent. Is he someone they're going to go after in that kind of aggressive SMG role? I'd imagine if they're going to make a move for Envoy, like Envoy was a great player for them. He's done so many things. I think he'll be fantastic in his next team if they get the right, you know, structure around him. But I'm not necessarily sure that him and Scump were the perfect SMG combo. And that maybe he is thinking, Scump is, that I need someone a little bit more aggressive. They're going to do that kind of role a bit better. Like, you know, kind of CleanX, Standy, some aBeZy type player. You're not going to get aBeZy. I don't know what the situation is with CleanX. You know, if you look at Standy, for example, on the Rokkr, are they going to sell him? So these are the types of players I would be considering right now from OpTic. And of course, look, if you're OpTic, you can make blockbuster moves happen. You've got the cash, you've got the brand pull. It can happen. They can pretty much get anyone they want, apart from the FaZe guys. They're sitting back chilling and relaxing because they don't want to split up, of course, going into next year. Of course, one target that could be on the table is Huke, right? But even then, I think Huke plays relatively similar, you could well argue, to what Envoy does. So not necessarily sure him and Scump could be the best combo. But to be fair, Hex did say when Huke was on the market a few months ago, coming off the Dallas Empire, that he at least had to consider bringing Huke into the team and whether that could work. So maybe that's something they are considering. I wouldn't completely rule it out. Nothing it could be ruled out right now. And of course, the other side of the question is, Waskin says this, Envoy is a free agent. Absolutely nobody is safe, right? He can walk into a load of different teams and replace their SMGs. Of course, like, you know, finding a great SMG player like Envoy is very tough to do. Clearly, the OpTic team didn't work this season. Understandable they want to make some sort of change. The SMG duo is the most impactful thing on the team. If you want to step up your level significantly, maybe that is where you decide to do the upgrade. Because Formal and Dashy, obviously very talented players, and they will still have a long life left in their careers, I imagine as well. So probably it's the SMG duo. If you wanted to make it really work, that might be the option. But of course, you know, Envoy is still very talented indeed. He could walk into many different teams. Where could he potentially go? Let's talk about this right as well. The monster says Envoy, Shotzzy, ILLey, and Clay. You can imagine on like the Dallas Empire or something. That could be crazy to see. Also talk about Los Angeles Thieves, right? Could he somehow head into there? Like a Venom, of course, they say happy birthday just a couple of days ago. Could that work right alongside Drazah? Like Drazah could be the aggro sub. You've got Octane and Kenny on gun of like the assault rifles, and then Envoy in there. Like, who even knows what's going to go on anymore? Of course, there's also the CleanX question on Toronto Ultra. We don't know what's going on there, whether you know, whether he's staying on that team. We heard rumors coming out a few days ago that his contract had not been extended, so maybe Toronto do extend his contract and nothing happens with the Ultra, but maybe it doesn't, right? And some other things happen. As I say, you can't really rule anything out right now. So those are a couple of options. I actually just refreshed the timeline and I saw this from Nadeshot in the reply. You know, I am confused. So maybe he's wondering, hey, why the hell did OpTic drop this guy? I'm going to swoop in there and pick him up. Who even knows right now? But we also get this right to a reply from Arcitys. Don't worry, I contacted the league. 5v5. Welcome to FaZe, brother. Arcitys has kind of been joking about this the last few days. All the like analysts and coaches that are on the scene, just get them straight into Atlanta FaZe. They already have a big enough staff over there, no doubt. Knew this was coming. Cell DM'd this after you dipped his Envoy. So that's pretty much the only tweets that have happened so far. So really remarkable situation. This, as Austin Easymac says, confirmed restricted free agents, all free agents at the present time. You got Envoy, you've got Crimsix, Vivid, Scraps 10 pack with Zaptius, Octane, Gunless, Prestinni, Classic, Rostermania in full swing, no doubt about it. The things that can happen here, absolutely insanity. Who do OpTic decide to bring in as his replacement? Where does Envoy go next? Just remarkable, as Shane says right here, the chosen one, right? A lot of people thought that Envoy, and I guess Dashy to a lesser degree maybe, was going to be the future of OpTic for many years to come. But well, it turns out that I imagine is not going to be the case. Very much intrigued to hear your thoughts on all this stuff in the comment section below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy it, I'd greatly appreciate a like on the video. It really helps out the YouTube record. I know you enjoyed this content. Other people like you may enjoy this content as well, and help grow the competitive Call of Duty community. Thank you for watching as always. Take care, and I will see you next time.
Well, speaking of Seattle, everyone's been let go. Do you think it's prepping for a wild offseason?
Probably. I mean, I don't know. I'm hoping I don't have to deal with that because that's a vacation ruiner. And, you know, I'm getting married to my beautiful fiance Dana, and like I want to go to Hawaii. Kind of want to go to what's those islands past that? Tahiti, Maldives. Maybe we stop in South Africa.
The Maldives.
We're going everywhere.
Bora Bora, book it.
Yeah, Bora Bora. That's what it is. My dad always talks about that place because he said $7 for a cup of coffee. What the hell is this? Get me out of here. I don't care if it's paradise. So, but yeah, no. The off-season roster changes. It's a literal vacation break ruiner. You have to worry about that stuff so much. So, you know, I think it was probably a beneficial move for the players and the org to just, you know, complete reset.
Great. Well, best of luck with the rest of Champs Crim, and thank you.